put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations in studio this morning, and we speak with Mr. Curtis Douglas, the president of the All Tobago Fisherfolk Association, as it relates to Budget 2025. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you and good morning to Tobago. And you know, before I start, share the live.
That's right.
Share the live. I'm here this morning.
That's right. That's right. And of course, we've been hearing your voice very, very loud in spaces as it relates to a particular issue that affects the fisherfolk here on the island of Tobago. And I want to start the conversation there before we get into budget this morning. Asking about pay, when are the fishermen going to be compensated, right? And yesterday we had conversations with the Secretary of Finance, Trade and Economy, and it was revealed that payment was made to the fishermen, the fisherfolk, in the amount of $1.1 million, and there's an outstanding balance. And so where do we go from here? She also said that we don't have the money right now. However, the conversation is ongoing. Strategies are being implemented to see that the payments are made in a timely manner. While she might not be able to pay off all, she did say that yesterday, she might not be able to pay the entire balance. However, the conversations are being had, strategies are being put into place to find the resources to make the payment. Where are you where that is concerned? I know you've been very, very vocal in this space. And so I want to know where you are now, this day, the day after budget, 1st October 2024. Where are you in terms of the payment to the fisherfolk?
I'm here still without any payment. The All Tobago Fisherfolk is here. So I just want to clear it up because a lot of people confuse, right? ATFA, which is All Tobago Fisherfolk, work as a contractor with the oil spill. We were the first responders.
Yes.
In the terms of the fisherfolk who will be affected by the oil spill, haven't received any money. That's a separate story.
So after it's separate, the contractor as a first responder,
Right.
that is the agency that was paid the 1.1.
Right.
And now you're talking about fishermen being compensated.
Right. So what happened? What the secretary did not mention is that they had a meeting with us, right? And tell us, listen, we're going to pay a part of the money, right? And when we receive the 50 million from the central government, they are going to pay us our rest of the money. But instead, what was done? They paid one of the Trinidad contractors $18 million. Let her write that down, right? But they know to advertise how much they pay me before. One contractor again get paid 3 times. So what they did, they pay all other Trinidad contractors. That was a decision made by the administrator. So let me get it right. They released the money to the administrator, and the chief administrator, right, of finance, pay she friends and she families playing pick-a-pan and pay them 18 million. Plus, Jack and Jill, who they say went up the hill, they pay the other rest of Trinidad counterparts and leave Tobagonians, leave the contractors in Tobago and then pay them. And on top of that, yesterday, after the media conference we had on Friday, they then decide now to call Tobago contractors and pay them part of their money.
All right, so the after, who was a contractor, first response contractor, they were paid $1.1 million. You agree to this?
Yes.
What is the outstanding balance to after? Is there an outstanding balance, and what is the amount?
Right. I'm not gonna say what was the outstanding balance because they know. But what I'm saying to you, they would have paid the Trinidad contractors in full. And the agreement which they had with us to pay us so that I could pay the fisherfolk that work, right, to prevent and mitigate the spread of hydrocarbon on the Tobago space, we had not been paid. So here what they did, they pay people all around us. They pay the Trinidadians, they pay all their friends. So listen, one thing I did not have was a dirty contract. Right? I'm not asking for what I didn't work for. I'm asking for what I work for. I'm not asking for no special, nothing special. I don't want anything special. Whatever I work for, so I can pay my people the loan that I took to pay men and them, because I had also got to take loan because the overhead cost is a lot working in our oil spill. Right? So every week I had to pay men all $6,000 and $8,000, $10,000. Plus when I get money, pay them off. I still ain't pay them off. I still owing. So they promise to pay us when we advocate, because if you know, we advocate for the $50 million, right? When we do get it, they took the money and pay their friends. I tell you who go on home with packets of bag of money, caucus bag of money in Trinidad, running, right? Thief never see for thief with Lombard and Tobago, and we here still ain't get paid. So the next step where we are today, before the end of this week, make no mistake, we will be sending our lawyers to pay them a visit with a letter.
No, you said that they had a conversation and they, with you and
Yes.
stating that they're going to pay another portion.
They said they're going to pay us when they receive. They're going to pay us. It had same Petalan Roberts and her team, right, up by the office of the chief secretary, finance, right? They had it with Beckles, all of them, and they said, listen, here what's going on. We have no money because the chief secretary say, bring out 10,000, so you got to try to pay people to ease, right? They did that. So they said, no, listen, when we get the money from central government, which is the $50 million, right? They are going to be able to pay off ATFA. But when they get the $50 million, they send all the money packing to Trinidad. And it's only yesterday some of the Tobago contractors get paid and they didn't even get paid in full. But the man with the suitcase of money dragging, right, going back to Trinidad, they get full pay.
So how many other contractors from Tobago are still to be paid? Are you in receipt of that information?
Well, you might have to ask Miss Petalan Roberts or the chief secretary, because they engage them, right? They engage them. So if they engage them, now listen to me. I have no problem with the administration. The only challenge I have, if you say something, mean something. Do not give people, don't sell people dreams. Don't do it. It is not fair. And in my book, Tobago first, we've seen it in the budget. We need to start now to put Tobago people and Tobago first. Make no mistake.
So the outstanding balance that is still owed to you,
Yes.
when I say you, I mean to AFTA,
Yes,
and
it's
also to the fishermen who were affected, compensation for them, plus the contracted sums.
Yes.
So it's two different sums.
The fishermen and them still waiting to be compensated.
Have any of them been compensated?
The only thing that they would have had is they decided to give them $1,000. I don't know if you all remember. They call them and give them $1,000. $1,000. How much have been? Must say 100 of them, $1,000. Up to now, the fisher folks still waiting. While the boat is being auctioned to sell, right? And the hydrocarbon, nobody can give a report on if the hydrocarbon is sold. Fisher folk is still in Tobago. One, ATFA, who help and the first responder stop the spread of the hydrocarbon, can't get paid. Two, the fisher folk themselves who was affected, couldn't go see, couldn't feed the family, couldn't pay the rent, couldn't pay the mortgage. They haven't get paid up to now. A committee was set up, no report has been came, and it didn't finish yet. So them sit down, so them waiting. Then we just waiting. So when you hear the talking, the last one of the briefing when the chief secretary was saying that he would have paid us, he turned and said, the check for us is processing in accounts. All know your process. All know it's still a process. But men calling me left, right, and center, tell me, boy, thank God for this interview given to us, and thank God for Tobago Update for highlighting what took place. They call us and pay us part of our money. Part. While that happening, the Trinidadian gone with 18 million. Right? Tobago here, hungry. So nobody ain't doing Tobagonian here. It's Tobagonian doing Tobagonians. So when you're talking about ATFA money, right? That's a separate. They still ain't pay me the disrespect because they say my mouth too big, so they're going to victimize it. And if this is not victimization, I don't know what is.
Mr. Douglas, you mentioned that there should be a conversation this week as it relates to the balance of payments. I'm hoping that you are able to have the conversation because I can feel your passion. And I know that you are very, very vocal in the spaces. So I'm hoping that you're able to have the conversation and that we can get some updates in terms of what I would really like to know is the balance that is outstanding. But as you rightfully said,
I want you to ask Miss Petal or the pick-up-and lady up, the chief ad. I want you to ask them how much under the Freedom of Information Act they paid Tiger Tanks, they paid Kaizen, they paid Oil Mop, they pay all the political friends. Ask them how much they pay out of the 50 million. Because you telling me $50 million not a little bit of money. And you telling me 50 million done. And you ain't even pay me. And you pay all your friends them in full. And these people came after me to work under me. And you pay them before me. And still have me waiting. And you're calling my figure, but you're not calling them when they went home with their millions who catching plane and come up and change $2 million and want how much in cash. Yeah? Why they're not talking that? But all you know, to bring down the Tobago people in with Tobago space, and you expect Tobago to grow under this type of slave mentality.
I understand your frustration here, Mr. Douglas, with a relation to being paid, not being paid rather. And as I mentioned, we spoke with the Secretary of Finance yesterday, and she made a commitment to sit, have the conversation, and to find the resources to make the payment. So let us hope that that follows through and that the payment can come in the soonest possible time.
Adanna, how could you have the money in your hand? You have the money, advocate. When we advocate for the money, when we do that press conference, the government send the money. The chief secretary come and say on the 17th, oh yes, yeah, we get the money. So we're going to make sure that the fisher folk then get paid. And now you're telling me you don't get the money that you had. Eh? So you decide. Or let me blame you, Ms. Roberts. The administrator decide, which is the chief accounting officer of Tobago, decide to call her boyfriends and girlfriends in Trinidad and pay them while we here. And now, Miss Roberts, you're put in a position where she now have to come and say, well, we don't have the money. Well, the only thing they're hearing from me now is the lawyer, because since then, I haven't received a phone call, I haven't received a text, I haven't received a WhatsApp, I haven't received even a hello to how you're going. And these people knew that my wife would have passed away, and they deliberately didn't pay me and pay the friend because they know how they plant the crops or how we gonna grow.
All right, let's not make accusations here. But what the conversation I want to have is the commitment was made that they are going to have the conversation and try to find the resources to make the payment. It is what it is. We are already at this stage. You mentioned that the 50 million came. Even Secretary also said that, it has been expended, and now they're in a position where they are going to sit and try to find the resources to make the payment. So let us hold them to that. Right? I want you to commit. I want you to hold them to that. Have the conversations, if you can, with them to see how soon the payments will be made. Also bear in mind that the secretary also indicated that they would not be able to pay the full amount. That conversation you can also have with
Why they weren't saying that when they was asking me to work to stop the oil from spreading in full amount? Why then stop that? So you telling me you paying Trinidadians all this money, and you telling me no, you can't pay me on. Listen. This seems to be a lawsuit against the THA, but this how we fixing it? This how we fixing it? We really fixing Tobago and good, right, and proper. They need a round of applause. This how we fixing Tobago, right? You spend out the money that we advocate for, right? And then telling me now, after we work assiduously, men leaving a family, leaving my wife and children, and now you come and tell me, and not even a phone call or WhatsApp to say, let's have a discussion. You need to hear from my lawyers, man, because this is ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. I have nothing. I love my Tobago force, and I clearly seen where Tobago is dead last in everything. Because you can't tell me you cooking food in your house and taking the food on the road and crack down the road and feed on the road and come back and tell the children them the food done. How is that possible? And then telling them you can't get a full plate of food, but you can get one slice of bread. You tell me if that makes sense. I want the listening public to tell me if that's right. If that is right and that is fair, and this is standard we are setting in Tobago to build a better Tobago and the greatest island in Tobago, and this is how we treat women people. You tell me.
Mr. Douglas, of course, I feel your passion and I feel your frustration, and I do hope that resolve can come from this situation in the soonest possible time as committed by the Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, this is where we have to wrap the morning show. I know it's an extended version, and I thank you so much for staying with us even up until now. We've been speaking with Mr. Curtis Douglas. He is the president of the All Tobago Fisherfolk Association here on the island of Tobago in relation to the outstanding payment as it relates to the oil spill that took place here in Tobago in February of this year. Thank you so much for being with us throughout the entire program as we spoke about the budget, finances, and the management of funds here on the island of Tobago, with the hopes for positive outcomes as it relates to the projects that we want to implement here on the island for the benefit of all of us residing in this local space. Do have a wonderful, wonderful day. This is where we end the morning show, and we do hope that you are able to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for staying with us.